I can't imagine nothing different. I can't imagine nothing different. I'm a ball hog for life. I don't really give a shit. She thinks she fucking out of spite. Popping pills before you eat, girl, that'll ruin your night. I like getting high in peace, but that'll ruin your night. I don't really got sauce, I got soul. Every day a different audition, she wanna roll.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy, Identity Cal here, aka Cal, aka Paddocks and Peace, here with another video on the channel. And today we'll react to a death battle. I've been trying to avoid watching this shit, watching people watch it. Cause I feel like this shit about to be comp, low-key. It is Shigaraki versus Mahito. Personally speaking, Mahito's shit low-key more busted than Shigaraki's. But like, I don't know how current Shigaraki moving for real. I'm not tapped in with my hero like that. So like, I can't even really give like a valid opinion on this.
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging.
One thing I never understood about this, the way that his family died, if you really felt bad. Nigga, stop touching people with your hands. That's literally all you gotta do. Literally all you gotta do. Literally all you gotta do. Like, why is everyone dying? Let me just keep touching shit. Bro, stop. My nigga, like, that's obviously the problem. You know, like, you would think a nigga would use common sense and deductive reasoning to know not to touch a nigga with his hands. Like, you did the shit with your dad on purpose, but he was like the last person.
For someone, anyone, to help him.
Should've stopped at the dog.
If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of Decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all...
My nigga, like, if you really think about that shit, anything he touches also decays. Nigga could literally just touch the planet and the whole planet destroyed. That's like really busted if it was like, went to that scale, you know? Also, to audio and shit, so like, if I gotta get close to this so y'all can hear me better, I will.
Consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. he must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well...
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm.
Since when the fuck did this happen? Bro, I need to catch up with My Hero because I do not remember this shit happening. I haven't watched it since like the season 5, 6, I think.
It also made a blast so big it showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became? Oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All For One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk, All For One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All For One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose. To create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All For One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life. The one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Damn, bro.
This battle is sponsored by Rob 3 Nosted.
Man, nobody care about no Robin Hood.
And
nigga.
fear. Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood. Man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with a patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human.
I ain't gonna lie. Like, if we really talking about it, Mahito is absolutely cooked. If he beat Shigaraki, this shit might be like, it might possibly be, well, it's obviously scripted, but it's biased, you know? Cause like, I really was thinking about Shigaraki lost fighting niggas that could punch holes in mountains and shit. Mahito lost a teenager that hit a little hard. I'm not doubting my nigga Yuji, cause personally speaking, that's my favorite character in JJK. Him, Higurama, and there's one more. Todo. Those are my 3 favorite characters in JJK. In that order. So niggas can't say I'm dick sucking, but there's no real way that Yuji or that Mahito beat Shigaraki, given like his big ass repertoire of shit that he has. Yes, I know what that word mean, nigga. Yeah, I'm smart. Like, why are you surprised by this?
Disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind. He's no mere mortal though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals. But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets
but now they saying that. Nah, Shigaraki shit have to reach the soul, right? There's no way you could touch the soul, and there's no way you could kill Mahito. That's the shit I feel like they by the pool. But I feel like, given the fact that like quirks are binded to the soul means that they also can attack the soul when used against one. You know?
To squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants. Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
When you walk him
Even
down,
more
nigga,
twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A
domain
is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly, without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, blah, blah.
Why is he hating on my nigga Yuji like this, bro? I don't fuck with that.
He also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That had taken energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
So tough,
hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that's a victory champion, and we get it through all possibilities.
JJK Curse Clash is so ass. I'm still upset about how that game turned out. That shit was $60-$70, bro. I bought that shit. JJK game, this shit gonna be tough. No, it was not. That shit was worse than Shinobi Striker. And it had like a Sam UI as it. Shit
It's
sucks,
time
bro.
for a death battle!
Oh, this animation clean.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick 'em. Game over. Did you actually just say that? God, how lame!
Touch the nigga with your hands. That's all I gotta do. They're jumping this way.
Audition over.
Did I get the part?
Decay! What a rush!
Oh yeah, Mahito loses. Why is he whooping this nigga ass right now?
That all you got?
Domain expansion. I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem.
Shigaraki got too much souls for him to kill. Right? Also, Sukin is
Off my masterpiece. I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random.
Yeah, nigga running for his
I
life,
hate
little
them
bitch.
for a reason. You grow up.
I knew that nigga was about to lose. You see how tough my nigga Shigaraki is, bro? Stop playing with my nigga, bro. Well, look at dude, bro. The way this nigga tough. I ain't gonna lie. I might have to catch up with my hero just because of this one death battle.
What did I say, Wiz?
Mike
Like
still
a
got
bitch.
washed.
With their
I ain't gonna lie.
complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo.
Queso's booty fungus is now following.
Queso's booty fungus. Thank you for the follow, bro. And yeah, JJK is fire. Is they going to make a part 2 of the manga? Because I'm caught up with that shit, and I need more. I ain't gonna lie.
Meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too,
I ain't gonna lie,
considering he
Mahito
could react to
lose,
light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yeah, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flash meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive.
Like, people been trying to get me to watch the solo leveling manga, or like watch the anime, but I already read the manga, so like I don't really care that much, if that makes sense. I heard it was tough though, but like I just can't bring myself to watch it. And plus I'm trying to catch up with other shit, like Bleach, for example. I fuck with Bleach, but I gotta watch that shit again from the start.
Super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put
These
Shiggy
two are
down
exactly
with
the
idle
same?
transfiguration?
It all comes down to their...
Nah, Mahito a bitch. Shigaraki not, you know? Like, Shigaraki just kind of got hold as a kid with his powers and shit. Mahito came out killing shit and left the world as a bitch. So, like, he was a alright villain. Like, he definitely made me upset watching them do shit, but he's still a bitch. You feel me? You feel me? So, personally speaking, I ain't even caught up with My Hero. I didn't even know that Shigaraki was moving like this until I watched this video. But this shit alone might make me start watching My Hero again, because this nigga actually tough. He dead ass is.
Their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things.
My Hero Academia hentai is amazing. Is it? Is it really? Because isn't like everyone in My Hero pretty much like, you know, teenagers? Minors? Yeah. You know what? You got it, big bro. You got it. All right. If that's what you're into, I ain't gonna judge. What the fuck? Adult version. See, what My Hero Academia hentai you watching? That's the adult version, though. What the fuck did I just walk into? My nigga, do not ask me. Cause oh god, I don't even know what's going on. I'm just here, bro. I'm an innocent bystander this time. I ain't the one that said some weird shit.
Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact,
oh my gosh, I love seeing this nigga get his ass
the soul. We're able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disease. disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
The only thing that Mahito had
Next
over that
time
nigga
on
was
Death.
duration. Nah, that was actually tough. And before I end this YouTube video, that was tough. You love to see it, man. You love to see it.